In this section of the demo, we're going to focus on some additional API types that Gloo Platform supports, starting with GraphQL. We have a very unique approach to GraphQL and Gloo Platform in the sense that we built a full GraphQL server in C++ natively integrated with Envoy Proxy. It is not just a pass-through proxy for GraphQL requests with a little bit of extra routing. It is a full GraphQL server that supports the full scope of primitives in the GraphQL spec and integrates with existing gRPC, HTTP REST, and GraphQL APIs, including the ability to stitch and federate those GraphQL APIs. So let's have a quick look at how this works in Gloo Platform. So we're going to start out here with an existing REST API that is a blog service. So go ahead and curl that now, and you can see it's just got some basic. It's got ID, the user that entered the blog entry, the title of the blog entry, and the content in Latin, of course. Another unique aspect of how Gloo Platform supports GraphQL is that no coding is required. It's 100% declarative configuration. So if we go in and look at some of the configuration, we need to turn our existing REST API into a GraphQL API. We're going to start off looking at the definition of the schema. Just like with OpenAPI, we'll have a standard spec for our GraphQL API, and that is in schema definition language, or SDL. This is straight up standard GraphQL schema definition language, nothing special here. The magic comes in when we look at this resolver's definition. And what we're saying is, hey, there's a field in that SDL called getBlogs, which is the query. And we're going to map that automatically to an existing REST API, which is the one we just curled earlier. And what Gloo Platform will do is it will automatically transform that existing REST API and map the field into our SDL. We package that up inside of a route table, which we saw in many other areas of our demo today for things like REST APIs. We'll see it with Lambdas and a bunch of other API types within Gloo Platform. So let's go ahead and apply this configuration and see what happens. So come over here into our terminal, apply the config files we just discussed. Then we'll go into the Gloo Platform UI. We'll notice that a new API has appeared, which is a GraphQL API. When we go to view that UI API, we can see that we get a full schema view, essentially like an API registry within Gloo Platform, which tells us about the queries that are in that, and then the entities in that SDL as well. Even better, within my development cycle, or as a consumer considering using this GraphQL API, I can explore this API using GraphiQL and immediately come in and start interactive query building to get data from this API. All right, so we have our live access to our data now, moving from an existing REST API, getting translated into GraphQL in our GraphQL server in Envoy Proxy. This mapping doesn't always have to be one-to-one. In fact, we have a lot of customers that are aggregate either through schema stitching or through bringing multiple API types, whether REST or gRPC, into a single unified GraphQL API. So let's see what that looks like by adding another upstream REST API to our graph. So we'll come back over into our configuration tab and notice that we can expand our schemas. We'll add a user type and comments type. And these comments are actually going to come from an additional upstream service. So you can see we have our existing blogs, and then we're going to annotate that with an additional resolver that's going to talk to another service, which is the comments service. So if we go ahead and apply that now we can come back into the Gloo Platform UI, into our interactive graphical interface, and issue a query for the full graph that we want that's combining multiple data sources on the back end. So I'll go ahead and run that, and we can see now it includes user details and comment as well. This is really just scratching the surface of what we offer in GraphQL, but hopefully this is enough to give you an idea of the powerful capability inside of Gloo Platform.